We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot as a state to help struggling families during this recession and to help our economy. But ladies and gentlemen, we must also protect our economy by standing strong against threats to it. Threats like the onerous, big government unfunded mandates imposed on us by Congress. I urge each one of you. I urge you to use your voices loudly, strongly, every time Congress proposes some grand scheme that ultimately places another heavy and unaffordable burden on the states. Now, we can't control what Congress does. But there is one threat to our economy that members of this legislature can control. And that's whether to legalize slot machines in Alabama. I can't imagine anyone who thinks the best way to help our economy is to have Alabamians lose billions of dollars gambling. But that's precisely what the gambling interests want you to believe. You know, in one county alone, where these illegal casinos operated, court testimony revealed that people were losing $2 billion every year. $2 billion in one single county. This is money. This is money that is not going to be spent in the local community, at local businesses, where it would help sustain jobs, help the local economy. No, this money is being taken out of the county and sent to out-of-state slot machine makers and gambling bosses. Just imagine how many billions more will be taken out of the pockets of Alabamians if you vote to make it legal. You talk about a ripoff. So let's understand. Let's understand that any scheme that will legalize slot machines under the pretext of generating new revenue is the biggest hustle in Alabama's history. Yet here we go again. Another legislative session is starting, and you know what that means. Millions of dollars are going to be spent trying to pressure each one of you into making slot machines legal for the first time in the history of our state. Now, of course, they don't call it that. They can't. They call it bingo. But you weren't born yesterday, and neither was I. This is nothing like bingo. These are slot machines, pure and simple, and there is a reason that they are illegal. They're illegal because they're bad for our families, they're bad for taxpayers, and they're bad for Alabama. The devastating social cost of gambling, increased crime, addictions, domestic violence, bankruptcy, suicides, family breakdown, and so much more are undeniable And they're also well documented by the National Gambling Impact Commission. Now let me ask you, who ultimately pays for all of these social problems? The casino operators? Not a chance. They're making money hand over fist off of this misery. It's the taxpayers who are the ultimate losers. In states with casinos, for every $1 casinos contribute in taxes, they cost taxpayers at least $3 in additional government service to deal with the devastation the casinos leave behind. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that those who don't remember history are doomed to repeat it. Alabama's seen this before. How can we so soon forget the lessons that Phoenix City taught us? Someone who has not forgotten and never will forget is Governor John Patterson. If there is one person who knows the lawlessness and corruption that gambling brings, it's him. Listen to his warning, which was in the newspaper last week. He said, gambling brings the bad people to town and brings out the bad in good people. He said, there's nothing about it that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we all heed his warning. If you vote to let this happen, you'll be swimming in a pool that has more sharks than all the oceans in the world. Every one of us in this room knows that slot machines are illegal under Alabama law. No matter what you call it, electronic bingo or anything else. Yet despite the clarity of that law and the clarity of the court decisions, we have today slot machine casinos being operated in some areas of this state, abetted by officials who are willing to ignore the law. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are to fulfill our oaths to ensure that the laws are followed, how can we permit this flagrant and rampant violation of the law to go on? No. Men and women of principle must act now and act decisively to ensure that the rule of law is not some hollow standard that is cast aside whenever people with enough money and enough influence decide that the law does not apply to them. I took an oath to uphold the laws of Alabama. And as long as I am governor, I will never go back on that oath. All of you took that oath too. So tonight, let all of us reaffirm our commitment to the rule of law.